Do you live in Europe and own one of these? They suck, don't they? In the US, owning a credit card unlocks a set of perks. Free flights, complimentary hotel stays, as well as perhaps even an invitation to a private island. But in Europe, what do we get? We get slapped with a fee, which we have to pay every year, with little to no benefit in most of the cases. Sounds pretty unfair, right? For all those of you who don't know me, my name is Niranjan. I have almost 20 years of professional experience. I've studied in different countries, and now I've decided to start my own YouTube channel where my goal is to try and motivate some of you to invest and to enjoy passive income. I'm here to share with you my journey and my experiences. When I moved to Europe, I was shocked at how credit cards work. I remember going to the first bank where I was banking, and when I asked for a credit card, I was told I had to pay an annual fee. When I asked, what about credit card points? Where's the reward catalog? I remember my banker looking at me in total shock. Actually, we were both looking at each other in total shock. Why is Europe so far behind the rest of the world when it comes to credit cards, credit card reward points, when it comes to offering clients something for their loyalty? Well, that's what I'm here for today, and let's unpack all of that in this video. The first one, and you may not want to hear this if you're in Europe, is European customers aren't just not demanding. I'll give you an example. Look at European business class and look at business class in other parts of the world on an airline. On a flight between London and Paris, or let's say Frankfurt and Paris, business class is just economy class with a middle seat blocked out, and business travelers are willing to pay for it. Well, can I really blame the airlines? No, not really. Because customers don't ask for more. They don't really demand for more. And that's also the reality when it comes to credit cards. Not enough of us are demanding that credit card companies or banks give us something for our loyalty. At this point, I'd like to tell you, if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It does mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. What's another reason? Well, regulation does have a part to play in it. Let me explain. In Europe, regulators actually cap the fees that banks can charge merchants. What does that mean? Take a look at this table that I'm about to show you here. In this table, what you can see is that when it comes to credit cards, the EU caps the amount of money the banks can charge a merchant. And this is a maximum of 0.3%. If you look at the US and in India, there is no cap. So banks are able to earn much more money from vendors. One must understand that it is through this percentage or this commission or whatever you may want to call it that banks are able to deliver certain products to customers. For instance, giving them points, to have free flights, to have golf course membership. So as a result of this, banks and credit card companies have to make up that lost revenue. What do? They start charging you annual fees. They charge you a fee to open a credit card. They charge you a fee to close a credit card. And they charge you various other things without giving you much in return. What's another reason that credit card companies are the way they are in Europe? Well, if you want to own some of these in Europe, banks even want you to put up a collateral just to have a credit card. My question is, if I have to put up a collateral or have a deposit and against which I can spend money on a credit card, how is it even a credit card? It's more of a charge card. Actually, it's like a debit card, isn't it? What do you think? And you know what's worse about a credit card in Europe? Well, in a lot of cases, there's an auto debit. So the bank simply debits your account when the credit card payment is due. My question is, how is this a credit card? Makes no sense, right? In fact, a bank can actually earn money if you pay your credit card late. Now, I'm not telling you that you need to pay your credit card late, but it just makes no sense to me. Now let's get to the interesting stuff, the numbers, the competitors. Let's look at the European landscape when it comes to competitors compared to the US and India, just to get an idea. And this is where it gets even more shocking. The EU has a much bigger population than the US. It consists of 27 countries. Yet, when it comes to the number of different products or different types of credit cards, it is not even 25% of that of the US. If you look at this table, you will see that the EU, The entire EU, mind you, has only 150 to 250 different types of credit card products. In comparison, the US has between 900 and 1,200 different types of credit cards, and the US has a smaller population, mind you. India, which has a far lower credit card penetration than the EU or the US, has up to 600 different types of credit card products. Now let's add something to that table. Let's add the total number of credit cards outstanding in these three markets. Again, what you'll notice is the US leads by far with over 600 million credit cards in the market today. The EU has only 150 million, which means less than 1 in every 3 European Union residents has a credit card. And India, where credit card penetration, as I told you, isn't very high, has over 100 million credit cards out in the market. What's shocking? Every EU country only has about 5 to 9 different credit card products. There are small or medium-sized banks in Europe with more credit cards than an entire European Union country. Isn't that amazing? Now let's make this table even more interesting. Let's add another column to it. Here you can see the average number of cards per product. And what does this table tell us? It tells us that the number of cards per product is the highest in the European Union, up to 1 million cards per product. This means that the European Union does not have enough products on the market, there isn't much competition, and companies and banks are taking advantage of it. Why are we letting this happen? This essentially means fewer choices, higher prices, less rewards. Does this seem fair to you? Please tell me in the comments below. I'd like to hear your views. So why does all this even matter? Yes, the capped fees do play a role. But the fact that European Union credit card companies and banks have more customers per card means that they're able to make up the money through these annual fees and various other things, and in some cases even higher economies of scale. But they're not delivering those benefits to us in return. So what can we do? Number one, perhaps we should be more demanding. When we go to the banks, when we talk to our credit card companies, we should ask them what are the products they have. If it's just 1 or 2 of us going to the bank and asking for things, not much may change. But if a lot of us go, if a lot of us demand better products, better services, there is a higher chance that people will listen to us. The other thing that's out there today are neobanks or these internet banks. They do offer some of these benefits that I've mentioned, better products, but again, it's not where the US and India are when it comes to, free flights or let's say complimentary hotel stays. But they are getting better. And a lot of people are already switching from legacy banks or let's say traditional brick and mortar banks to these neobanks. And lastly, if you're working in a bank or in a credit card company or in the banking and financial fraternity, what do you think about all this? What can you do to help us all? What can you do to make this more interesting? One suggestion from my side is, why don't you gamify the industry? Why don't you reward your loyal customers? Rather than charging and penalizing everyone, why don't you focus on rewarding those who pay on time, who spend money on your cards, and only penalizing those who are late with their payments? Now, hey guys, for those of you who are credit card users, I'm not telling you to be late on your payments. Don't do that. That's not a good thing. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you again. Bye.